I'm going to call the meeting to order. And the first.
Do you have an agenda? I don't have one.
She made me one.
Share mine.
Share.
Why don't you take a look at it
Your
anyway?
secretary again. No
No,
problem.
we wrote it on the police, and she can make me a copy of that?
Yeah.
Oh, those are
He's
I'll
sharing
peek
that
over
one.
Tom's
He'll look over
shoulder,
my
that's
shoulder.
okay.
Put it between us. Okay. The first item is cleanup day. They collected a total of
19 bags.
19 bags. Very good.
And evidently Jack picked them up. I called Division 5, told them they were out there, she said to tell the guys. He called, I don't know if he called Londonderry, they said they're not gonna pick them up, so he picked them. But they're gone.
They're gone. That was the main thing.
Should we send a thank you note to the Cub Scouts that helped us? They did quite a good job of cleaning up around the schools and.
Yeah, I sent a thank you to the guy, but I didn't hear anything back, but I'll send another one. Make sure he got it.
Kids were very well behaved. and
They
did
really
a
were
great-
well behaved.
They did a great job.
How many? 8?
Oh, yeah, quite a few. And I was surprised it was from Nashville, it wasn't a,
Yeah, they weren't.
Yeah, after a while I finally realized that, because he didn't know where any of the roads were.
Yeah.
After a while I realized.
well, after he got done with us, they went over to Benson Farms and they worked over there.
Oh, okay.
I don't know
Oh,
whether they were trying for a merit badge or something or
Yeah.
other.
Probably must have been. Okay, November 7th, New Hampshire ACC Annual Meeting, Pembroke, New
I went
Hampshire.
to the annual meeting, it was very good, it was the best attended they ever had there. Instead of having them at Concord all the time, now they're switching locations, so this was in Pembroke, at Pembroke Academy. I only went to DES, navigating the DES webpage, which was very good. And then I got the slides from grant writing. And I didn't realize that this is their biggest fundraiser, so next year we should try to get more people to go. Next year will be November 5th. It's always the first Saturday in November. And, probably be close to somewhere in the Concord area.
Mr. Chairman, excuse me. For the sake of the viewing public, the NHACC, is that New Hampshire Association of Conservation Commissions? Okay,
Thank you. Thank you.
and mine too.
And yours, okay. Okay, Birch Street, Campbell Drive Property Survey.
Okay, I met with Mike Granger, the surveyor from Hudson, and told him what we wanted to do. And that's on map 7. There are bounds out here at the end of Campbell Drive, and yes, I'm over on this property line to the west end of the property. But we wanted this to be sure we know where this line is, so he put another bound in there, and then, forget exactly where we talked about, but he's gonna send us a proposal and go from there.
Very good.
The concrete markers, what are they putting in there?
What we would put in is probably granite markers.
Mhm.
Probably what is out here, I don't know what, when these subdivisions were built, they bring most likely granite.
It's hard to say back then. but-
Mr. Chairman, question? The surveyor now how was he chosen to do the surveying?
I did call, I called Mike Ranger from Hudson, because he's done a lot of work locally, and I also called, Greg Jeffries from Litchfield. And I haven't heard, Greg Jeffries is going to drop in, but I haven't talked to him yet. So I was going to get two prices from local surveyors. And we know if we went to a company like Hannah Swanson or anything like that, it's gonna be a lot more money.
Right.
These are just individual guys.
Okay, I just, again, want to make sure that we're doing, now, is that conservation funds or town funds?
Conservation funds.
Okay. It's just that, are we doing the right thing in contracting people? Are we hiring? Are we getting proposals? Do we know we're getting the best bang for the buck?
That's what I was gonna ask
That's
you.
Between the two of them, they're both well respected on the local level in their small shops. You don't have the big overhead.
Mhm.
of the big shops. And you start talking to big shops, you get double or triple or quadruple the price automatically,
Mhm.
just by virtue of overhead.
Do you have any idea how much they're gonna charge?
No, I don't
We
know.
might not, we're just getting a proposal. If it's ridiculous, it'll be, it just will not happen, huh?
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, it's good that we do know that the band isn't here. Kevin knows that the band is in this westerly one, because there's issues with the property owners out there, so he knows those are in. So if, worst case, we could run a line between the two, pretty much know our own.
Right. Mhm.
And I do know there's an 8x8 post out here, I do tell my friends.
Mhm.
Because this guy lost his band, and he put an 8x8 in, with reflectors on it.
So he actually has some good reference points, as long as he has
Yeah,
this reference to
and
start
we
with.
gave him, copies of plans that we had, so he's got a lot of data to go by.
Right,
already.
good.
So we're only having that one, we're not having the whole thing surveyed, just the
No,
one
we didn't
area?
think that, we needed to get the whole thing surveyed at this point. Out here on the end of Birch Street, yes, you would want to know where your property starts out here in the corners. I can't exactly remember what we talked about here, but he'll come back with a number of
The
things.
proposal, yeah. So we'll look forward to seeing the proposal on that. Okay, Tennessee Gas Pipeline, Joan Roger and Troy Brown met with Kid Morgan.
So the big thing, that was a wetlands mitigation meeting with Kinder Morgan, and they want us to come in sooner rather than later with some idea of something they could use towards wetlands mitigation. What happens is they either have to do wetlands mitigation, or there's an ARM fund. I forget what the ARM fund stands for, but it's a state fund that they take money it's an in lieu fee, so they take money for restoration of wetlands. You remember what the ARM fund stands?
No, I don't remember. It was 2 months ago.
Anyway, it's a state fund, and they can use that anywhere in the state to create or restore wetlands. The state has a ratio impact number that they use. It need to be project specific, the functional equivalent. In other words, if they're taking away forested wetland, they would want to replace by forested wetland. She did say, though, that and they came with a whole battery of people. You could use uplands as land preservation, so I tried to throw out a piece that I was thinking of on the river that had floodplains. They didn't think of that at all.
Aquatic resource mitigation.
That's right. Thank you. You got it right. I knew that, but I never could remember.
Very good.
Google's the
Google's
best.
awesome, isn't it?
Aquatic resource mitigation.
Yeah, there's gonna be a test later, huh?
So Roger had a thought of, this would need some more investigation, that maybe investigate what Darrell Pond is like, if it's getting silted in at the bottom, or if that needs some work. If we're gonna dredge it, it would be a dredge and fill permit involved. But can anybody else think of anything else that we could use as wetland mitigation towards there? Because I guess when they apply to FERC, they think that they want to have some idea of mitigation when they apply to FERC, because they know how much wetland they're impacting.
Yeah, if we don't use it, it goes to someone else.
Right.
And going to the ARM fund, somebody else. Product resource mitigation fund.
Very good, yeah.
So if you can think of anything in the near future, give me an email and.
Could we purchase property abutting wetlands and claim it as a buffer, or, I mean, do we have to get wetlands?
I would think a buffer would be good, I would think.
Okay, yeah.
That's why I tried with that.
Because I mean, how many wetland properties are there out there would be interested in?
Most of the headwaters of the brooks we already own. Chase Brook, we own that big pond out behind us. Talent, a new section of Talent. And Brickyard Brook out behind the houses on Brickyard, not Brickyard, Lockmill, we own that.
That's pretty specific. If you have to just, if you're restricted to wetlands.
I have the program restrictions if you want to.
From the ARM program?
Just a paragraph. The Aquatic Resource Mitigation Fund has been created as an additional compensatory mitigation option available to applicants for impacts to wetlands and other aquatic resources. This mitigation option is available for use after avoidance and minimization of impacts to these aquatic resources has been achieved. The department is authorized to collect mitigation funds in lieu of other forms of wetland mitigation as part of a wetlands application. DES holds and manages funds to be offered as grants for potential projects that will accomplish long-term environmental results, that consider the service area goals and replaces or protects wetland and other aquatic resource functions and values that were impacted by development projects in the service area.
Right, so if we couldn't come up with something, they would put the money into that.
Right.
It does say wetlands and other aquatic resources.
And
so
other
that's-
aquatic resource
So that's
functions.
pretty much any body of water, right?
values, yeah, that were impacted by development projects in the service area.
Are they giving us any credit for the fact that they're running through the Dara Pond aquifer? Or is it just the wetlands that they're crossing?
Just wetland. And they're crossing the river, under the river, and that's why I thought a piece on the river would.
Yeah, would be hand in hand.
I guess, aren't they pretty deep when they go under
Yeah.
that?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
What did
way
you say,
down.
200 feet?
Yeah, they're going.
Some unbelievable number.
way
Yeah,
north.
I said 200 feet.
So the tunnels aren't even, the big dig is,
Is the our own
Have a
version.
little dig of
yeah, really.
A little big dig.
So, well, that's where that's at, we have her card and all this, and, I'm supposed to get back to them.
Okay, wetland setback on November 17th, planning board meeting. Outcome, planning board decides to wait on change.
You wanna talk about that, Mike? You were there, defending the conservation commission, I might add.
Oh, yeah, Kevin had come before the planning board requesting to uphold, I believe it was the
Change it from
change from
75 building setback
yeah,
down to
75 down to 50. You know, I had mentioned at the meeting that, the Conservation Commission had decided, based on the research, the scientific research, and what the commission felt was necessary to be, diligent in maintaining the protection of wetlands. Is basically we want the 75-foot setback. Although,
Right, I did send a letter to planning commission.
yeah, and I think Kevin tried to, wanted to bring up the fact that, because it's just because it's 50, he was looking to do it to 50 feet. And, but I think what the planning board wanted to know was, or felt that I think a little bit more research needed to be done on this issue, and that maybe what needs to happen is there needs to be a conversation between the Conservation Commission, the Planning Board, and the Zoning Board to try to come to some kind of sort of consensus. So I think we kind of tabled the issue, or the Planning Board tabled the issue on this to get more data, more research. So.
what is the, why did we want to decrease it from 75 to 50? Do you know what the whole purpose behind that was?
Because it wasn't always 75-foot setback.
Right.
Mhm.
One time it was, I think we had a 25-foot buffer, and so it was maybe it was a 50-foot setback. So he wanted everything to be, and it wouldn't be consistent. He would just want everything to be at 50.
Yeah, we're just trying to standardize it.
So I want to throw in now that I went to the New Hampshire Association of Natural Resource Scientists meeting December 3rd. They're working on a state buffer. They're just doing the scientific end of it. They know they can't come out with just a blanket statement on all wetlands, but they're looking at prime wetlands or actually, they're state significant wetlands and, natural communities. And they came out with a 75-foot buffer, which would only apply to when people go for permits. But there's talk of it superseding in local municipalities, and the people that I was sitting with, we all said, no, it's not gonna supersede what we have.
Because originally, I mean, I think
But they're
the
saying
best
75
best science wasn't like 100 or something, and
buffer buffer.
I think when it went to town meeting the last time, I guess, or when they made the change, I think they reached a compromise at 75. So
And they also talked about the 75-foot buffer for wetlands, because when you're building a house, you get a lot of compaction of soil. So from that, we only have 50, and that 25 to building setback of 75, you're gonna get a lot of compaction in that 25 feet. So, that's where that's at.
So the planning board essentially tabled the issue, and they're going to be looking, So, I mean, if, the Conservation Commission wants to come in to a planning board meeting, or at some point, or if the planning board meeting decides to have a meeting with the zoning board and the Conservation Commission meeting.
But I would say that I didn't make a lot of copies of this. On the town website, if you go to ordinances and documents, ordinances, the zoning ordinance is there. You really should all take a look at section 1200 Wetlands Conservation District and read it over, so you know at least what it says and what we're dealing with.
Good. Okay, new business, email 1125 update, forester from Fort Mountain Companies.
Like Sharon said, they have started working on Page Road, Fort Mountain Companies have started working on Page Road. And I did walk on the Morse Falls area with the forester on okay, I'll read you what he said on Monday, December 7th. Attaches a rough appraisal for the Morris Falls Conservation Area. I got map and lot info from NRPC, National Regional Planning Commission, so I may be off on total acreage. As you suggested, there is around 8 acres of forest. There may be another 2 in areas with limited activity. I would suggest a lighter improvement thinning following the option 1 basic harvest scenario. This will keep openings in the canopy smaller and give the trees a chance to develop wind firmness over time. We would take the poorer quality suppressed stems and a small portion of good timber. The best trees will be left as seed source and nurse crop. Ideally, a bare ground harvest would help scarify soils and promote regeneration. Trails should be pretty easy to protect from excessive disturbance, as they are mostly along the perimeter and in buffer areas anyway. Please let me know if you have any questions. So, Ms. Prazel, if you'd like us to schedule, I'm happy to put the paperwork together. We would look at later next summer as the first time frame, keeping out during nesting and breeding season. And he, again, gave, like he did with Page, the other options, the other parcels. Option 1, light forest management, and he's saying we need to go lighter than that. I would suggest a lighter improvement than following option 1, basic harvest.
So what would he be doing, basically taking out all those widowmakers and?
I walked it with him, and they would flag it. They would paint the trees before they did anything. He would walk, and I asked him if he's on site when they're working. He said not constantly, but he does check in every day. He would take the poorer quality suppressed stems and a small portion of the good timber, and leave the best trees like this, and really good oak trees and big pines and everything. I told him about eagles along the river. Yeah.
Mr. Chairman.
Yes, I'm sorry.
Back in May, we discussed about putting out proposals and going to bid for a forester. Where does that stand? Now, you said they were started work on Page Road. Who?
They started, yeah, we walked that.
Well, who hired them, Joan? Are they doing work for the town or for someone else? Well, who hired them without going? We talked about this back in May, that we were going to.
We saw Page Road piece way back last winter because Jack wants the road, the sun to get to that road. And he even wanted the Cutler, Jack wants, wanted the connection from Cutler through behind the houses cut, but they're not going to do that.
Right, but in May, in every meeting
Page Road
since,
was way before May.
but still, the work just started, right?
Yeah.
But I mean, why wouldn't we have gone out for proposals even back in May for any work? You didn't commit them, or who committed them or hired them back?
Well, Kevin and I agreed to hire them, and I think to the commission, because they did the Mathis piece right over here. Roger walked that piece. We walked the piece with the Forester and Jack.
I mean, I really believe, and I got the information for, that we needed to go out for, I shared it with you, to go out for proposals.
Well, what I got from Northwood was, they have a whole forestry management, what she sent was not what we needed.
But she said that whatever else that you needed,
I did talk to her again, right?
Yeah. I really think before we take any more steps, we need to go out for proposals. There are several companies out there that do this, and I personally am very hesitant just to arbitrarily choose one company to do that. Do we know that we're getting, again, the best bang for the town? And
And either one of these is not costing the town anything.
No, I understand, Joan. The thing is, we still have to commit them. They are doing work for the town.
Right.
The town has a certain liability, I would think. In a matter of fact, they are returning revenue to the town, but are we getting the most revenue? And the only way we're going to know the level of revenue is we go out and ask for quotations from various forests.
Or we show this to the county forester and see, because lumber prices are pretty much set at time periods, fluctuates, but show it to the county forester and see if he agrees.
But the thing is, though, Joan, these are all private companies. They exist on profit. In the private companies, I'm sure to get, these companies may want to outbid one another to give the town more because they're reaping the benefit of all the wood that they're pulling out of there.
We have plenty of time in the Morris Falls case.
But, if we did it once, then that person could, if you enter into a 3-year agreement with the best company, then you wouldn't have to worry about getting someone. You know that you're getting the best price at this point. You ask them to hold the price for 3 years, or the revenue, and you commit them, you make them commit to this for a time certain. What do you do? Want to do 1 year, 2 year, 3 years? Then whenever something comes up, it's automatic. You dial the phone. You don't have to worry about it because you know we're going to get that same level of service.
Mary?
But I don't know what it's priced, but depending what it is this year, these people that cut down the trees and send the wood in to be milled or whatever, get it for X amount of dollars. Next year, the price is liable to be different. So if we contract with somebody for 3 years, they might either lose money or gain money depending what the price is. With us, we're not gonna,
Sure,
we're gonna
but-
get the same amount.
Sure, the only way to know that, though, is to go out and ask, and to find out what would be the best, 1 year, 2 year, 3
But
year.
let me say something beyond price, though. We're talking about critical areas, and we're not a huge town. We're talking about critical areas. We want to know that they're going to do a clean job, not with a bunch of slash, follow the state laws, which I'm sure most of them would, if they want to keep their licenses, and have somebody that you can trust, and that working with you on what you're trying to achieve in the parcel. Now, on the Morris Falls piece, we're trying to achieve habitat and recreation. So you want, I mean, those are, I think, would be our foremost concerns rather than price. But yes, I think we should get the most bang for our buck, but I also think that we should be concerned about a clean site and.
Well, sure, and you can find that out if you put out a proposal.
I wouldn't find that out unless you visited some of their sites.
Well, as part of the process, you could do that. You know, it's like we bid out anything else in town, you know, a major expenditure. You know, of course, I'm a little bit more familiar with fire trucks. You know, there's several fire apparatus manufacturers. You go visit, or you know, like we would, before we buy a truck, we'd find out from other people who use the vendor, how were they, how reliable are they, okay? And if they're coming in low bid, then you go to see the factory, you go to see how they manufacture. It's all part of the process, and it's just that by the time you finish and the bids are submitted, and you know, you're pretty certain that you're getting the best
But how
product
much money
for
are
the
we
town.
talking about? Is it, you know, it's,
From on all of Morris Falls, we're about $10,000. And then it would be harvested again in 12 to 15 years.
Right,
So
and
are
the
we-
thing is, you don't know if one company will give you 10, another one will give you 12, another one.
Also, the other thing is you get what you pay for.
Mhm.
The $10,000 company could either be giving you a better deal than the $8,000 company as far as production, quality,
Right.
safety.
And you won't know
Like
that
that.
until you research other companies.
Are we being paid whatever we get just based on the timber for this entire lot, or are we getting paid by the board foot of timber coming out? How are we getting, well, how did the $10,000 figure come up?
They'd be by the board foot. That's the only way to do it.
Well, if that's the
Well,
case, then
it's-
they're wrong.
When they do the timber
That's what I'm
tax,
saying.
it's by board foot, so.
So, I mean, why do we have to actually go through the process of having everyone come out and go to their places and see what they've done in the past, when you can just find out over the phone what they're gonna pay for board foot?
I'm not concerned so much about the money, I'm concerned about how they.
No, but I understand, but to address Brent's question, I'm saying, why don't we just call them up and see what they're paying for board foot? And if all things are equal, and it sounds like that probably everyone's paying the same thing,
Yeah, well,
then we go with who you've met and you're comfortable with.
I think also what Brent mentioned was liability, things like that.
You're gonna have that with anyone who goes out there.
Yeah,
Right.
No, I understand that, but what I'm saying is, if you call them and say, what are you getting for board foot? I think the next question you would have to ask is, what are your liability standards?
No, it's not gonna make any sense to ask what are you getting for your board foot, because that's not gonna make any sense to us, we don't know how much board feet's gonna come out of there. He has given me a,
I guess
if
See,
he
there-
did a total liquidation on the total appraised value, he has, of board feet, he has 28,700. But that would be if you did a total liquidation, which we're not gonna do.
right.
But see, all we have to do is call other towns. There are other towns, like Auburn. Auburn's got more forest than it has anything
Oh,
else.
and that's a good point. They have worked for the, water company, Manchester Water Works, which owns all around Massabesic Lake. They worked for the Massabesic Yacht Club, and they worked for the lot next door that got wiped out.
And that's good, Joan. I'm only saying, is it fair that two people just arbitrarily pick a vendor to do that? It's not necessarily fair.
We're not paying money out, Brent. There's a difference between taking a little bit of money in and paying money out. I can understand your concern if we're cutting checks to
My
people. but-
concern is that we're doing it properly, and that if we could be getting more revenue for the town, how would we know unless we advertise for proposals?
I'm saying, if it's a standard rate board feet, the only question is whether we agree with what this person is proposing to take out for timber.
Well, yeah, but right, you don't know what they're taking for profit, so somebody else could be taking less profit, I guess. That's the only way
Yeah.
the number's gonna change.
Right, but I was just, why, do you have to go out to a car lot, I guess, to look at every car, or can't you just call up the dealer and say, what do you know, how much is the 2011?
Are you gonna go and buy a car without seeing it?
Well, then what we have
We're
to
not
do
buying a
is-
car.
No, but you just said that.
No, but you're confusing buying with getting money in.
No,
We're not buying
said that
anything.
you call a car.
No, but if you're talking about price, which is what you're so concerned with, you can find that out over the phone. You don't have to go out and go through the dog and pony show with 5 different.
I'm trying to address Joan's concern also, that not only price, but and I understand what she's saying, is that she wants to make sure they're reliable and that they do a good job. And
Can that be determined on the Attorney General's site?
No, you'd have to call these companies, whoever other companies are, have them bring out, and I would only do it if they had a forester on staff, have the forester come out, give you the same kind of proposal this guy has given us, and then you could compare apples to apples. They'd have to see the wood lot.
that's what I was saying. Put out a proposal to exactly what we want and see what these companies will give us. That is the fair way of doing it, and that's the best way for the town. You're holding the town, you're doing what's best for the town.
Well, I agree and I don't agree. I agree that you're doing the best for the competitors but I think that these guys have proven, and why I'm glad they're doing the small lot first, is because then we'll see for ourselves if they do it that lot, if it turns out the way we want. I think they did an outstanding job on the Mathis piece.
I'm not questioning that. All I'm questioning is, what if there's someone else out there that it does equally as well, and it may give us some more revenue?
Do you know?
It's not, no, I'm just saying, it's just, I just have a question as being a town official, that we don't go out and arbitrarily choose people for projects
Have we used this before?
without bidding.
Well, why can't you find out what they will pay a board foot over the phone rather than set up a meeting and go around and see what they've done in
All
other
I'm telling you is
places
the
and go?
correct way, the right way to do it is
Call
propose.
another company and say, oh, what are you gonna give me for this 10 acres? They won't know until.
No, Joan, I'm not talking about what they select to cut out and therefore how much we ultimately get.
Yeah.
I'm saying if they're all charging the same board feet, it's just a question of whether or not you agree that this timber should be cut versus getting 5 other foresters to go in there and perhaps come up with a different amount of timber that should be cut.
So
We're going to get the same revenue
I have
either
this
way.
table of like white pine, the Cabs volume times MBF. Unit price is $160, so do I just need to call others and see if, on that amount of white pine?
No, I mean, basically going back to Brent's argument, we would actually have to have somebody physically come out and look at it.
That's what I'm saying.
I mean, that's the only thing, no, you just say, basically, in all fairness, we probably should at least get one other vendor to come out, if we could. And
How
get,
many vendors so far?
What?
How many vendors have we had come out so
This one.
far?
In
It would be good to get one other vendor to see how.
Well, yeah, and I know it may not come under the procurement code, but we have a stringent procurement code in town that, you know, when we go to purchase anything, and I know this isn't necessarily a purchase, when we go to purchase anything, we follow strict guidelines.
This is conservation land management. I think it's squarely within the Conservation Commission. We're not paying anything out.
I understand that, but you are collecting revenue for the
We're not
town.
procuring, Brent.
Huh?
We're not procuring. So
No,
why would it
You are
fall?
collecting revenue.
But it's under land management. The whole thing that started with Morris Wells is because we know we've got some problem trees down there. And it needs
some
to be
widowmakers, yeah.
cleaned out.
Okay, my only point is that I just don't think it's fair to arbitrarily choose people without giving others an option.
Well, it doesn't sound like
Opportunity.
it wasn't arbitrary. She picked somebody who she knows from the Auburn, as you said, they've done a good job with other towns.
That is an arbitrary decision. That is an arbitrary decision. I'm not faulting it,
That's,
but as an arbitrary if you had another forester,
an arbitrary is
it was
unsupported
equally-
by any rationale. That's not arbitrary.
no, it's an arbitrary decision. They chose that person, not without reason, not without backup, but what about someone else that may be in the area that would like the opportunity to do that?
I'm not in the business of deciding who
You
gets
might-
money.
You might not even get anyone who's willing to do it because of the size of the project either.
Correct, but you won't know unless you,
Make a
All right,
vote.
so I think we should go out and find one other vendor that maybe has worked with municipalities, not just.
No, I guess all I'm saying is I'm more on board with what Joan's saying, is we work with somebody who we're comfortable with, because the ultimate goal here isn't to take in money, it's to make sure that we properly manage the properties.
Make it safer.
Correct, but at the same time, you are giving a vendor an advantage that another may not have, because they are, in that management, they are taking town resources and making a profit with them.
Why are we concerned with what third parties are making for profits or not?
I'm concerned with fairness and doing the right thing for everybody in the town. That's all I'm concerned about.
Well, as are we, but.
Do you know of anybody in the town who does this type of
I
thing?
don't, and because all I'm talking about is process, and again, I'm new to all of this, and I understand that. I'm
So
just,
are you suggesting we post something requesting bids to be done?
or even if Joan, call around to a couple, or I like your idea, Joan, of talking to the county forester and probably getting their advice on some vendors, and maybe calling just 2 or 3 and see what you could come up with. And, if they're all in the same ballpark, well, then you're on the right path.
Yeah, I'll call the county forester and see if he, wait a minute, he has enclosed a list of loggers that do mechanic timber harvesting. I'll have to see if I have that. Okay.
You have that?
If I don't have the list that he sent, I will give him a call.
Right, you can get one, okay. So we'll try to get this addressed before the next meeting. Okay, milfoil letter to Recreation Commission.
I did send a letter, I haven't heard back from him.
Okay. Stage crossing, access easement.
John Poulos who was at Stage Crossing, was the former president of the association up there, was in, because he's a trustee, I believe, so he was in the office one day, and he said the current board, which, they change the board of directors every now and then, the current board wondered if we were at all interested in having them buy the easement where we access our property, and I said, I doubt it, but I'll bring it to the Conservation Commission. So, on map 12, in the yellow is our properties, map 1223 and 1225 is our property, town's property. And we access through the 1, 2, 3, 4, the fifth, after the 5th building up there on the left, we have an access, dedicated, deeded easement access. And
Is that
then
into woodland area, Joan, or?
yeah, that goes into our woodland area, this goes all the way back to.
Oh, okay.
They want to know if we would be interested in selling it. And we've had this discussion, John had told them that we were having this discussion several times over the last years. And we had never been able to come to an agreement with them with trades or anything, so just
No.
bringing it to you.
Okay, she brought it to us. Anybody want to make any kind of motions, any for discussion, or are we just going to leave this table? Because I think we've really belabored this pretty well.
I make a motion and leave it the way it is.
I'll second it.
We cross once a year.
Yeah, right.
Yeah,
To
we have to
maintain it
cross
right
it over
away.
here.
Okay. Any further discussion?
Maybe, the reason we had this easement, that was originally gonna be a road, wasn't it, for,
Well, it was
when
gonna
that
be,
back piece?
this was the last piece that Stabile owned, in Litchfield, and he was going to put a bunch more condos out there between 2 vernal pools. So we ended up buying that piece. We had already owned the leach piece in the front, so we ended up buying this. And, then through the attorney, we managed to get a, access easement through here. We can't park up here, but we can walk up and walk through there and get to the trails out there.
So if we were to sell that, and pardon my ignorance, I just wasn't here with that. If we were to sell that, we wouldn't have access?
We wouldn't have good access.
We wouldn't have good access.
If you get in next to the library, it's wet. It's wet, next to north of the library, it's wet to cross in there. We don't have trails there yet, so we wouldn't have good access. This
Okay.
takes you right to the trail system that's there.
We're really selective about the times we go
So
to
we have
give
to
the
document it.
We
the
have to
least
document it,
amount
too.
of disruption to their lives. And it's been an ongoing issue, at least once a year, that they
Well, they get nervous because it is public access, what are we gonna do with it? And you're not gonna bring up a busload of Boy Scouts and trunk through there, but it is really the best access to get back in there.
Now, that was given when they built Stage Crossing?
It was not given.
It was-
Well, we negotiated with the attorney, and, we got that. I forget exactly.
So prior to construction we had?
No, it's after
No.
construction.
Because they kept it right away, and then they
They
ended up
kept it
giving it
right-
deeded to
right,
us.
kept it right away. That's it. right.
They originally were gonna put more of
They were
those
gonna
units
put a road
back
there.
there, and that's why they kept that easement. in.
I see. Okay, thank you.
Now, we had talked
Sorry
about,
to have you guys be redundant.
no,
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 no problem.
Because then, we
Refresh our own memories, because it's been a while since this took place.
we had talked about trying to swap something with along the road,
Right.
so that we could go in the
Right.
back, but they wouldn't hear
They didn't want to hear
that.
about that, so, yeah.
And then also, Brent, this piece up front is agricultural easement that is to be farmed. And there's a document that says they get 10% of the revenue, but we don't charge a farmer anything because we're farming this to keep it open and not grow up in trees. So, every couple of years they ask us where's our payment, and we say we don't get anything, so you
10%
don't get
nothing
anything.
is still nothing.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Abstained? I consider it unanimous.
Okay.
Okay, December 3rd, State Wetland Buffer, New Hampshire Association of
Yeah, that's
Natural Resource.
Well, I went
Scientists.
to, up in Concord, it was very good. They're, like I said, they're doing the scientific study on it now. They plan to bring it to the 2016-17 legislature. They're looking at high-value wetlands, exemplary natural communities, critical wildlife habitat. It would only be at the permitting stage, so we wouldn't gain you anything unless somebody went for a permit. But it's all, still in the works, so stay tuned.
Okay. January 14th, Concord Wildlife Action Plan, Regional Workshop, 6 to 7:30 PM. That's on January. Then you-
14.
Okay, then you pencil it underneath.
Well, for 14, I signed up for that one. The Wildlife Action Plan is a state program, all the states have it, and Fish and Game is charged with doing it. That's where I had that map that showed that the piece we just bought was good.
Yes,
habitat.
right. Mhm.
They've just updated that, so I'm gonna go to that one.
Mhm.
And
Who puts that
January-
on, Joe?
Huh?
Who sponsors that?
That one, I believe,
Is that our Fish and Game or is it?
Game.
Fish and Game Department.
Yeah. And then the other one on the 12th is Hemlock Invasives Workshop, which is right in Amherst. I'll probably go to this January 12th, 10 a.m. Interested in learning more about the triple threat to northern New England hemlock. You know the triple threat. January 12th for a presentation by forest health specialists with the New Hampshire Division of Forest and Lands on the impacts of hemlock woolly adeldid, elongate hemlock scale, and I can't even pronounce this one, SIROCOCCUS. Something. Yeah. So they're going to talk about, and then it says, learn why Hemlock Trail may join Chestnut Hill as a bygone, names of a bygone era.
Mm.
So that's not too good if you want to get those names on there.
That's at 10 o'clock.
10 o'clock on January 12th in Amherst.
I'll go with you if you don't mind.
Okay, I'll send this up.
Okay, next meeting is, what do you got for a calendar there?
Let's see, so January 12th is a Tuesday. And the next meeting would normally come on January 7th, is the first Thursday.
Right.
You like that?
Anybody have a problem with January 7th? Okay, January 7th it is,
That's pretty good, that's about enough.
7 PM.
Okay. Oh, I have one more thing to show you about signs.
Okay, science.
Years ago, I had signs that alerted hunters to pedestrian traffic.
Mhm.
Well, now they're alerting pedestrian traffic to hunters. And And I had to sign a form that I was gonna keep land open to hunting. So I put some of these down at Moore's Falls. It says caution, multi-use recreation area, people in this area may be participating in hunting and other forms of outdoor recreation.
That's good, yeah.
So those are nice plastic signs, I got 10 of them. And I gave John Poulos 2 for the trails out back, and Jack put up 4 down at Moore's Falls. And he informed me the sinkhole is still there at Moore's Falls. The orange, fence keeps going down.
Yeah, it's just over there this week.
I had put it up, but kind of put it up, not that well, but put it back up. I wonder if, we're supposed to maintain that trail, if we could just maintain it without their blessings. Right of way owned by Colby Litchfield LLC. And we wrote to Attorney Mahoney and have an answer.
He's the one that represents the trust.
Now you talk about the
Morse Falls.
Morse Falls?
The trolley
There's
track,
a,
the trolley
down
track
behind
behind
St.
there.
The old trolley
Francis.
crossing?
Yeah, down behind St. Francis is a sinkhole. It's
Oh.
About 2 feet wide you can get through, but I just have a concern about ATVs and snowmobiles aren't supposed to be down there anyway, but
Mhm.
falling in.
In the wintertime, snowmobiles, they try to use that.
And that, you're right, because the snow might, if we had a lot of snow, you could get across that ditch that's full of
Yeah.
stuff.
Mhm.
Well, they actually go around it. If the ground is frozen, they go around it.
The ditch line, the one that separates the field from us?
I've seen trails in there.
I used to love to walk that trolley line all the way from like Temple Drive, the backyard of Temple Drive, all the way
Yeah.
till you couldn't go anymore. And of course, there's a beautiful little beach down in there,
Oh, I know which one you're talking
yeah,
about.
at the falls.
That's what, yeah, the town owns all
Town
that.
owns
Yeah,
that, yeah.
yeah. We used to put the boat in down there.
Yeah,
Remember?
right,
years
that's
ago?
right, yeah.
The rescue boat. We used to go in the days and drive it down there. Beautiful area.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it is. You would never know you're between Manchester and Nashville.
Oh, no, and it was funny, my dad gave me a nice picture, and I don't know where he got it, somewhere from Manchester, with one of the trolleys in Litchfield. I think it was on that section of the run.
Wow.
Really?
That trolley is up in the museum that used to be.
Yes. Seashore Museum
Yeah,
in Kennebunk.
yeah.
Now Diane, Jerry had a replica made of that for Skip quite a few years ago.
Oh, for his
His
upstairs?
collection of train stuff
Really?
and stuff, yeah, so she had one custom
No
made.
kidding.
Yeah, so, of the last trolley, to Litchfield.
So that's
They
where,
have the, I'm sorry.
oh, I
There's
just
the
said the
city of
trolley's where?
Manchester up there also. It's the
The trolley's up in,
Kennebunk.
Kennebunk.
The
Museum.
Seashore Trolley Museum up in the
Okay.
Kennebunk. They also have the trolley, the parlor car of the city of Manchester, they call it.
Oh, really?
It was one of the trolleys used to take dignitaries up and down Elm Street.
Oh, yeah.
When they needed to go somewhere to a meeting and stuff, and it's all
Yeah. Oh,
decorated.
close,
I don't know if it was restored when I went there. It was years ago, but
Oh, so it was the actual trolley?
oh, it's the trolley. Oh yeah, oh yeah,
Tom Young at the planning board lives up at Pine Creek, and he's a docent up there at the.
yeah. I gotta go back up there again because
I donated about 100 signs, trolley car signs, that when I bought the building in Nashua with my shop, because the building was insulated with trolley car signs
cut it out.
up in the attic. So I gave the guy to help me, I gave him several hundred years ago, and these were sitting in my attic for many years later. And then just a couple of years ago, one of my customers who volunteers up there, we got talking about it, and so I brought him down, and then this guy came down and appraised them. He appraised them all for anywhere from $35 to $300 and some
Oh
of
my
them.
God!
So I
Wow.
donated about $10,000 with trolley car signs.
What did they actually say? Like the
Oh,
stops?
Nashua Trust.
Okay. They were the
Wrigley
stops?
Spearmint Gum. No,
Yeah.
they would kind of go inside the trolley.
Advertising
Advertising.
advertising.
Yeah, the one in the trolley, the one
Oh,
inside the
okay.
trolleys.
For like
But they
10
were cardboard,
Yeah. Where my father, where St. Lawrence Drive
Yeah,
is,
right,
when my father was a boy, he used to have to go to school in Nashua.
yeah.
And he used to take the electric car. It used to cost him 5 cents to get from there to the bridge.
To the, yeah.
Well, it's
Lovely,
when,
too.
when they were doing the interviews for what was the last birthday the town had?
Oh,
And one of the most interesting
I was wondering.
ones that I listened to Candace Hale talking about she and her family, how they used to go to Central High School with the trolley,
Mhm.
and how in the hurricane of like '38 or
Yeah.
something, they were going up there. no one knew it was coming, but the trolley driver got them and got off the trolley and walked them, made sure that they got to their house. Oh, it was amazing, some of the stories.
Yeah. Okay, I'll entertain a
And
motion
wait,
to.
one more thing.
Okay, one more thing.
Fred had asked about use of the conservation money. I wasn't here at that meeting, but I looked it up. It was 2014 town meeting. We expanded the conservation fund uses to see if the town would vote to rename the fund, which has in the past been referred to interchangeably as the Town Conservation Fund, Conservation Land Fund Acquisition Fund, and the Conservation and Land Acquisition Fund, to the Conservation Fund, and to confirm that this fund may be used for all purposes authorized for conservation funds under RSA 36A. So that was.
Right. Because I remember having talks about that, and I wasn't sure of the disposition. I'm glad that we did.
Oh, and 36A says Commissioner can acquire, maintain, improve, protect, or limit the future use of or otherwise conserve and properly utilize open space and other land and water areas within the city.
Yep.
Thank you.
That's all.
Roger.
Well, I guess we've never really
Oh, the
answered.
weather, did we ever get that?
Oh, wait, yeah, that's in the back.
We didn't get
Yeah.
it.
The rainfall report.
Oh, in the
Oh,
minutes.
yeah, I never turned it over.
I was wondering, I said, hurry up here.
I didn't look over the backside. We need a longer piece of paper, one-sided.
We never really answered Joan's question about what should we do about the sinkholes on the
Oh,
trolley
yeah,
track.
sometimes.
I mean, it's been an ongoing problem
Yeah, is there
for,
anything-
Greg, again, one more time, Mr. Mahoney, whatever.
Can you send it registered and receipt requested or something?
because in reality, there's two holes that should be repaired. The sinkhole and then the other one, because,
The other one's not ours, the one further south?
I was just say that isn't.
yeah, but shouldn't that be, doesn't the town have to have access to that trolley road in case there's a forest fire down there or something
Not
or other?
really. There's no,
No, because you have access to St. Francis, and you can turn right or left on the trolley track, and then the sinkhole, and then the piece that's further south, you can see our bound, and where all that trash is, well, asphalt, cement,
Yeah.
et cetera,
Mhm.
in the gully, that's off our property.
Yeah, and that's been like that
years.
since I moved here.
Oh, yeah, all of
right.
that.
Yeah,
And I've been, holy mackerel,
a couple of years back.
38. Can you imagine?
Not bringing blue into town.
38?
Not with the hurricane of 38, but
That's how old I am.
My house has been before you, that's all.
okay, the weather.
So wait.
I'm still trying to get the road, now I get the second
So am I
side.
sending a certified letter to Mr.?
I would say yes, send a certified letter to Mr. Mahoney, and if he doesn't get anything done, I think we'll possibly have to address it and just bite the bullet.
Oh, I think we had said we wanted some funds from this, but they didn't.
Well, maybe that's why I didn't respond. Double check to see what you sent for a letter,
Yeah,
and see if
I
he said, hey, how much you sent?
Make it a donation.
Just photocopy it.
Please, he sold that land in the front, he should have plenty of plenty of cash hanging around now.
I guess if not, if we don't address the erosion part of that, we should build a permanent barrier to
Yeah,
prevent people
good
from
point.
going.
Yeah.
You know, that
And
would
I
be
think
my,
we put in the letter about liability, that it was as much their liability as ours.
Right.
It's probably
Yeah.
more theirs.
right, but I mean, we've let this go way too long now.
Yeah.
It's gonna take somebody to get hurt in there and
Yeah,
then,
then we're all gonna be in trouble.
yeah.
No, I agree, I think that, get that letter out, and then if not, I think it's probably too late this year to get a permanent fence up, but I think we'll have to, invest in
Well,
that.
nothing, I don't think anything was frozen yet, but we
No, but I mean, by the time we get the letter off and get the reply and get, winter should arrive.
Okay.
You want the weather, whether or not you want it?
Yes, yeah, right. What do you got, Raj?
I have October,
Okay,
which I neglected to bring in last time. We had 4.7 inches of rain for the total month. That was quite a shocker when I figured that out. We actually had snow flurries on the 18th.
I know my granddaughter got married that day, we were sitting
In
at-
October, yeah.
outside at an outside wedding in the snow.
Yeah, it was crazy. And then I have November, total rainfall for the month of November was 4 inches.
Brent, do you have your stats?
I didn't even think to bring them. I got them at home, I'm sorry. I think I had October in last
Yeah, you
month's
did. Yeah, I think you had October.
The north end, do you have the minutes from last meeting?
I just got I wasn't able to print them out today, but I do have the.
Oh, no, the ones, November 5th minutes, I think I have.
Yeah, you gave me,
Yeah, and I gave them to you.
Yeah. It's on the second
yes,
page.
October. You had
Oh, here we go.
1.53 inches of rain.
For October, really?
Well, October to date, so that was
That was our
October
first,
29th.
yeah. I told you, our end of
The
town.
radical difference between one end of town to the other.
And I have a digital, it's incredible how,
We've been trying to, that gives us much more ammunition just in reference to the variations that there are.
I've asked for a new weather station for Christmas. It's quite sophisticated. I'm hoping to get it.
If Santa's paying attention.
Have you been to the board
That's
this
what I
year?
was gonna say.
Have you been a good
so you
boy?
mean, so my little glass out there with a little ruler, that isn't sophisticated enough? Oh. I will,
It works.
I will share it with you when I
November 5th minutes.
And also September 3rd,
September
and that was approved.
You want to put these in the records? I'm looking for a new form to fill out too. That's an old form that I had taken from somebody else. Something a little simpler.
Little
Little
something.
bigger spaces.
Yeah.
Joan, was I at that meeting, September?
September,
Yes.
yes.
We have
think so.
October minutes approved.
October's approved, yeah.
September.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Oh, you were there. I was there.
Mr. Chairman, I'll move to accept the minutes of the September 3rd meeting.
I'll second it.
Moved and seconded. Any questions?
Speed reading.
Speed reading, okay.
My secretary didn't print one out today, so.
Got retired.
Any questions? All those in favor will signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
That's November what? November?
September 3rd.
September 3rd.
Mr. Chairman, I'll move the minutes for the November 5th meeting be accepted.
Is there a
I'll
second?
second that.
Any questions? All those in favor will signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Unanimous? I should, any,
Oh,
was it
abstain?
abstain?
I abstain.
She was missing,
I'll
that's right.
abstain, yeah.
Thank you.
I abstain too.
Okay. We get 2 abstentions now. Things are changing fast.
So you would send November 5th out, right?
Yes, but I can resend tomorrow, because Brent didn't get them, and,
Yeah.
Well, just put the, date they're approved on there too.
yes. Oh, yeah, because
Same
I'll do the approved minutes tomorrow, actually, yeah.
We had snow all the way into April of last year, of this year.
We certainly did.
Okay. I'll entertain a motion to adjourn unless somebody has any other new business?
I'll second.
Okay. All in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? Good night.
Good night, Irene.
Did you get it, 20 yards on